Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Club at 22, the Rangers podcast and Club Live. We are live on YouTube tonight, as per usual, so if you could like and subscribe, that would be greatly appreciated. I'm your host for this evening, Jamie Mackay, and with me, I have returning, looking very sun-kissed, mate, Mr. Ali Pearson. How are you?
Yes, it's good to be back. I think last time I was on, I said to Mr. Carney, it will be eventful when I'm next back on because we had the trips of obviously Rugby Park and Aberdeen coming up. Yes, it was a good holiday. Enjoyed it. Did watch Rangers when I was over there, up at 7 a.m. to watch the Clowns against Kilmarnock.
Why bother?
Why bother and ruin your holiday? But yes, I'm back.
Yeah.
I'm actually glad to be back, lads. It's therapeutic, I think, to talk about Rangers when they're in this state. So yes, I'm looking forward to get into it and strap yourself in, as I would say, because I'm not holding back tonight.
No. There is a hell of a lot to talk about. Myself and Scott covered off a lot when we were watching the game together on Wednesday. Scotty boy, how are you?
Yes, mate, I'm okay. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, chat. Hello, Alistair. It's good to see you back. Look, I've been kind of saving things up as well myself. I think it's been an interesting couple of days seeing things develop the way that they have done. And by that, I mean little development at all. And we are still very much in the same place as we were on after full time on Wednesday. But yeah, there is going to be a lot of colourful opinions tonight, I would imagine. So, yeah, I think we'll take Ali's words of advice to heart and we'll very much secure the seatbelts and see where tonight takes us.
Yeah, I think strap yourself in, and really, there's only one place to start tonight, and it's talking about the 2-1 defeat to Aberdeen on Wednesday. It was a kind of make or break scenario, although I would say 95% of our fan base had already lost confidence in Philip Clement, but I think it's well close to 100% now. I just think, on the whole, it was really one of the flattest performances I've seen all season, and it had to be one of the best performances we've seen all season. Really, I think on Wednesday it demonstrated the fact that we just have no clear style of play, and these players are really not getting coached whatsoever. Ali, I'll come to you first, mate, because I feel bad that you had to go up at 7 a.m. on your holiday to actually watch this game. What did you think about it, mate? How did you feel? The killer game. But I mean, we can talk about that if you want. That's well in the past. We've covered that already. So how did you feel about Wednesday night, mate? What were your overall thoughts on the game?
I mean, Wednesday. I mean, I just arrived back Wednesday morning to Manchester and come up the road and knew I had this game to watch later on at night. I'll be honest, Jamie, and just touching the Kilmarnock game, I know you boys have covered it and I've listened to you when I was out there. I mean, the Kilmarnock game was what I thought it was going to be. When Celtic dropped points the day before, I turned to my girlfriend lying in the pool and I went, well, Rangers are going to drop tomorrow anyway. It doesn't matter to me because they'll drop, and they did. St Mirren, from all accounts, I didn't get to see it. Crap, usual pish at Ibrox we've watched. And I'll be honest, going into Wednesday night, I put in a group chat, you boys, I says, put your money in Aberdeen. Aberdeen were something like 3-1 at home to beat Rangers. Mental money. Put your money on
crazy
it because
odds.
I knew
crazy odds.
It was crazy odds. Crazy odds. A team that's won pretty much every game and drawn against Celtic and against we were favourites, which I found bizarre. But yeah, what more can you say about Rangers? I just think they're pathetic at the moment. It's what we've seen all season, and we've said it. They can't continually play this way. Yes, they'll get the odd result, i.e. St Mirren, where they'll get out of jail. But against teams like Kilmarnock and Aberdeen, they can't do it because they'll get caught. They were playing against an Aberdeen team that were hungry, wanted the ball, had a style of play, aggressive, physical, everything we are not. We are mentally, physically weak as a team. I don't know the style of play. We lack creativity. We have nothing. We're waiting for one guy to do something. Barami was the guy that brought us back into one each, which we'll obviously cover. But I'm just, the sad thing about it is, Jamie, I'm not shocked. I'm honestly not shocked about it because I've been seeing it all season, and it's frustrating. And you look at the team, 8 of the players that started against Aberdeen were there before Clement came in. So what does that say about Robin Proper, who I think is powder puff, if you want to say, no up to it. He obviously thinks that Diamande, the star signing, why is he not playing? Aberdeen had about 6-7 brand new players in their team, and they've all knitted together very well. So it's just another shit show for Rangers, but I'll be honest, it was not a shock, and I honestly think this season's going to get worse.
Yeah,
sorry to start off.
No. Look, mate, I'm glad you're going there right away, because anyone tuning in tonight, guys, you're not going to get masses of positivity from me and the boys, because I think it's coming this way, and it's really, there's a lot of points that we need to cover tonight. Scotty, I would say the Stour game slightly papered over the cracks a wee bit. I mean, bearing in mind they had 8 first-team players rested, and they were just. It seemed to be like one of those performances where it just wasn't too convincing, and then obviously we scraped to win against St Mirren, but we could see that coming on Wednesday, couldn't we?
Yes, mate. I made comment, and by the way, so everybody knows, I've rinsed out my pink dye. I realised it really wasn't for me in the post-match that I'd done. I was unfortunately sitting under a kind of pink neon light that's in the Viceroy in the lounge, and it looked like I had pink hair, and I was like, oh, I didn't even notice it. But anyway, I've rinsed it out though. I said on the post-match that after Kilmarnock, I knew this was coming. Like, you can't, your eyes don't lie to you. And that's something that I'm always going to come back to. And Clement can say stats this, stats that, possession this, possession that. Whatever he wants to say, he can say it. But your eyes do not lie from what you're seeing on the football pitch. Mm-hmm. I said to you boys, even when I met you on Wednesday, I said, I was like, look, I think I've been having a bit of a bordering on an old firm feeling around Wednesday night, where I thought this game feels like it is something. It feels a lot bigger than it probably should, because Aberdeen will cling on to we're their biggest rival for as long as they can go on, because it's all they really have. Like, let's not lie, it is all that they really have. But as it got closer to kickoff, I was going, I'm getting flatter. I'm not getting more excited. I'm getting flatter. And then I seen the starting 11, and I was going, oh, he's not even picking the guys that he signed. I can't understand what he's doing. I really can't understand what he's doing. For me, it was the second nail in the coffin, the last nail in the coffin, if you like, Wednesday night. Because after the Kilmarnock game, I thought it's over. You can't come back after an international break and play football like that and expect us to believe that there's progress being made, because there isn't. There clearly isn't. Even after the Steaua Bucharest game, I said that we have to take Europe in isolation, because it is very much isolation. There's a lot less pressure on the team in Europe, and that sounds a bit crazy, it does, but there's not as much pressure on them in Europe, because ultimately of who you're up against, blah blah blah. I know Bucharest weren't a very good team, but Lyon, etc, and we seem to thrive as the underdog. When Rangers are they may not have an underdog against Bucharest, but again, you get where I'm coming from. When Rangers have got the pressure on them domestically, they crumble, and this has been like this since Gerrard. Now, so we are now at the point where we've not went anywhere in the past. How many years you want to go since Steven Gerrard left, and we are regressing at a rapid rate. Clement cannot, and probably something will come on to his comments, but the comments that he's coming up with just now, I'm kind of going, I don't know if you are trying to pull the wool over our eyes, or you genuinely believe there's something on the pitch that you believe in, because the majority of Rangers fans have had enough now. We've went, no, not anymore. We can't continue on like this. The same old argument will come back of, we can't keep sacking managers. Yeah, we can't keep sacking managers, but what do we do at this point? The board are clearly not making any form of communication with us about, by the way, don't get your hopes up, this guy isn't going anywhere, or this is under review, or whatever it may be. Just a bit of, again, a bit of a direction of what path the club are trying to take. Yeah. Right now, and the podcast is named this, Rangers in freefall. Rangers are, in my personal opinion, in freefall right now, and there doesn't look like there's an easy road out of this. It really doesn't. I think we're in a bad state, and Wednesday night was the second accumulation of everything after the Kilmarnock game, where I thought, this has to change. If we don't change, we're looking at years. We're staring down the barrel for years.
Yeah, and I know, so obviously you've done the post-match, mate. You've covered off a fair bit of it on Wednesday night, but because we're all together at the moment, I think we'll just go through a few stress points from Wednesday and a few talking points from the game. I mean, Rangers actually came out, and for the first 5 minutes, like they've done at times this season, they started quite brightly and they were finding some space in the middle of the pitch. But then Aberdeen just got a hold of the game, and when I say they battered us, it's a bit of an understatement. It really is a bit of an understatement. They, as I said, they had tempo to their play. They wanted it more than us. They were finding space in behind. They were finding space in the wings. We just looked completely all at sea. And then obviously they got the first goal and they got their heads up. Ali, I'll come at you just to kind of chat about the various points from the first half. It seemed to be that we almost got away with one with the goal on 47 minutes, but really I don't think it's going to change the face of the game at all, mate, because it's only ever really going one way, because as you said before, they just wanted that a lot more than us, didn't they?
Aye. They're a better team at the moment, Aberdeen and Rangers. That they know their jobs. I just thought, yeah, I agree. I thought they started okay, Rangers, but there's no tempo to the play. You look at the front line. There's no one of the guys in the comment. There's no pace in our team. It doesn't strike fear in any teams. We're easy to play against, and Aberdeen just got a grip of the game. And as soon as they scored, Aberdeen, I just thought after that we just shat a bed. We were everywhere, all over the shop, and Aberdeen were just coming up the park. They were cutting us open dead easy. Obviously, they got their penalty. I mean, folk can say, well, it's a penalty. It's not a penalty, but obviously it was a poor penalty for that boy. It was Jamie McGrath, I think it was, that hit the penalty. He doesn't miss many penalties, but I thought we got out of jail with that one. If it goes 2-0, Christ, I would really crumble at that point. But the first half in particular, it's just a carbon copy, Jamie, of what I've seen all season. Same as Kilmarnock.
Yeah.
There's nothing in this Rangers team. You can point to certain guys, a Barron or a Raskin, that because they move about the park at a bit of pace and kind of try and get in people's faces, you think, right? But I just go through the whole team and it's pathetic. I mean, again, but you look at the back line, which I think is a shambles. Casemiro, we're playing a left back. He's not a left back.
Yeah.
I know we played there against Malmo. Why is he playing there? Why are you taking Jeffy out to rest him, apparently? He's 20 years of age, the guy. He doesn't need the rest. You're playing Balogun in there again. This is an issue that we're talking about. Balogun last season was our fourth choice centre half. Found himself in because he was our best centre half last season, along with Goldson. And now this season, we're in the same situation. We've got Proper that he doesn't trust, who I don't think is good enough. He's lightweight. And Balogun's back in there again. A fourth choice centre half is now our best centre half again. And it goes back to recruitment again, Jamie. But the first half was just, it's what I've seen. It's what I've seen against Kilmarnock, what I've seen against other teams. So I didn't expect what I've seen is what I expected.
Yeah, exactly. It feels like Groundhog Day, doesn't it? Scotty, Ali makes a good point about Casemiro playing at left back. We finished that game on Wednesday with 4 right backs and 2 centre backs on that pitch. I mean, if ever there was a telltale sign that the manager doesn't really know what he's doing, it's that, surely, isn't it, mate?
Yeah. It's one of those things when it's happening at the time, you're not really paying attention to it. But when you look back on the game, and I have watched the game back as well, because I always like to do that, no matter how painful it is. There's some games I won't watch, but that one I was like, I'm going to watch this back and make sure I'm not being too over the top of the way that I was thinking about things. And we're chasing a game, mate, and we have every full back at the club on the pitch, and I'm going, what are we doing? 2 holding midfielders. There's no way that he was going for it. He wasn't going for it at all. And if we'd have got out there with a draw, he would have been absolutely delighted. And that, I think, there lies the problem, is that's not good enough. It's never going to be good enough. It's never going to be acceptable for us to do that. If it's a hear 'em, scare 'em game and it's back and forth, whatever, then even at some point you would need to go, right, fair enough, you're an equaliser by a wonder goal or whatever it may be. You can accept it, but we know what we watched for 90 minutes on Wednesday, and It's all becoming a bit baffling. It really is. We're getting further down a more confused line of what Clement is actually trying to put on the park, what he's actually trying to play, apart from just get the ball to prop or one of the two centre halves and boot it wide to somebody, a diagonal long ball. That seems to be the game plan. I don't know what the other game plan is. We press for about, as you mentioned, we'll press for maybe 5 minutes and then we stop doing that. So that's not a game. So it's a very confusing state of affairs that you're watching the team and you can't really identify with it. You can't identify with what Clement is really attempting to do. Jeffy, fair enough, he might have not been great recently. He is a young player. He's going to have peaks and troughs. But to just drop him and put in Casemiro at left back, I was like,
strange decision, yeah.
He's not a left back. Like, what are we doing here? Do you know what I mean? What is he doing? And then even later in the game, we bring Sterling on at right wing for the second half, and I'm going, that's not an attacking move, and it's no disrespect to Sterling, but it isn't. It's not an attacking move. It's the guy is not an attacking player. He's a defensive midfielder or right back, in my opinion. So you're like, what are you going to do? And just something I wanted to pick up on that I seen in the comments and something that Ali had said about Aberdeen being a better team than us. I don't think Ali means that they are a better team as in the players than we've got, but they are much more organised than we are. They have a coach
coached.
They have players that want to die for their coach. They want to give everything for their coach. They have a heart in their team. There's 4 things I've just listed that Rangers currently do not have.
They are a better team than us at the moment.
That's what I know. But in that regard, they are. I think financially they aren't. I do think
they're not.
If we were getting the most out of this current squad, right, there's a lot of the Aberdeen players that would struggle to get into our team. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's what I mean. But you're right, mate. Right now, they're 9 points ahead of us. I'm not going to sit here and say
the league doesn't lie.
Yeah, I'm not going to sit and say that right now we are flying and we're better than Aberdeen, because clearly we're not. But look, the problems are staring us all in the face, and the only people that can't see it are the board and the manager, and that's the way I feel right now.
Yeah. Well, look, talking of the manager and talking of baffling, which was our word you used there, Scotty. We'll go on to the presser today. I've just picked out a few quotes from the press conference that just like overall just left me ever so slightly puzzled. I'll get your thoughts on them in a minute. So he said there were things we did well, and for sure things we didn't do well on Wednesday, which we discussed today. Things can change fast in football. With the right spirit, we are working hard with the squad to improve. He then went to say there had to be major turnaround this summer, getting younger players and a cut in wages. The club knows it is the start of a better period. We don't see it in results now, but the foundations are being grown for a more healthy club in the future. And then lastly, he said, I am very confident in this longer term story. It is about small margins and making it better. Last season, we turned things around in a short time, and I'm convinced we can do the same. Of course, we wanted the result on Wednesday, but I saw a team that tried until the last minute. They don't give up, and we will continue fighting to get more consistent football like we have seen against Malmo and FCSB. Scotty, I'll come back to you again. The one thing there that's really pinging out to me is he's flagging 2 games. I mean, we all seen the game in Malmo, and yes, we performed well, and yes, I think that was maybe part of why he thought Casemiro might work at left back, because he played so well away in Malmo. But really, it's 3 quotes from the presser today that there's a million red flags, mate, isn't there?
Absolutely, mate. Yeah, he continues to say things now that are either he's just blind faith in what he's doing, and I suppose he's not going to just openly come out, rip every player apart and rip himself apart, because he's going to need to have some form of credibility and to keep things as positive as he can. But the stuff that he says now, I am beginning to worry if he genuinely believes what he's saying, and if he does, then that's a real concern. Like a real concern.
Yeah.
And I mean, no disrespect to the vast majority of Rangers fans, and I am including myself in this. I am no expert on football. Like, I'm not an expert. I couldn't coach a team. I couldn't go in and do very much. However, I do think that it doesn't need to be as complicated as Rangers are making it out to be.
Yeah.
I don't think it's hard to get a team that want to work hard. I don't think it's hard to get a structure of a team, make a team pretty difficult to break down. A team that's quite good at winning the ball back. and then hopefully your attacking players can go and do something. We're not even doing that. We're not doing the basics of football right now. We do look like a team that is lacking coaching. The team look a bit clueless about what we're meant to do. At times you see Diomande, who is like lost in the middle of the pitch at times. He's just like, I don't know where I'm meant to be, I've literally not got a clue what I'm meant to be doing. And it's kind of all run about. I think Igaman, when he's put on, it's literally just go run about and try and get yourself involved. And again, that's another thing that is really concerning. Flagging up Malmo and FCSB, that's fine. You can pick them out. You can take them in isolations and look at them and go, yeah, good performances they were. If we're going to be brutally honest, even the win over Ross County earlier in the season at Hampden, Rangers were good. We weren't amazing. I'm not going to say that we were absolutely superb. We were good. It was a better watch, of course it was. But we weren't like... We didn't look like if we were playing any team, not in the world, but within reason. We were playing any team within reason that we would have been cutting through them the same way that we were there, the same way in that game. Mm-hmm. So to pull up Europe, it's just, again, mate, it's just all a wee bit confusing, and I'm very concerned that Clement is leading himself down a path that there will be no return. I don't think there's a return for him anyway, but his comments are. They're miles away from it. And the fact is, no matter what we were told, October, November, we would see, he changed it to saying a better Rangers. I don't know what October or November he's talking about, because it's certainly not going to happen in any of these 2 months. Is he talking about next year's October or November? We are worse than what we were when Clement took over. That's my honest opinion. I think we've went completely backwards from that. Even the bit where he's bringing up, we pulled this round last season. You should never be in this position now. I don't care what we done last season, because if you remember last season, we didn't win a league, so it doesn't really matter what you done last season. And he's bringing up, I'm convinced we can bring it back. On what basis? On what basis are you convinced? Just because you have faith? He's not going to change. He's not going to approach things any differently. He's still going to put Casemiro in at left wing probably on Sunday, because why not? He might as well. And I feel like it's just a matter of if and not when. I'm shocked that he's still in charge now when he took the press conference today. No, I'm not particularly, and I suppose it's a conversation too will come later on. But everything the manager says right now, and I can't even watch full press conferences with him now because my skin starts to crawl, mate, and I'm like, I can't listen to you anymore. And that's not a good sign when you're a Rangers manager, is it?
Yeah, exactly. Ali, Scott mentions regression, mate, and really there has been regression. And the thing about last season is it's looking even more glaringly obvious that it was a new manager bounce. I think as a fan base, we were all thinking, oh, this guy's got something, he's got these players playing well, but it was just inevitable. It was an inevitable new manager bounce, wasn't it? He said there were things that we did well on Wednesday. What things is he seeing? What things is he seeing? So, I mean, really, it's looking like he's on borrowed time, mate, isn't it?
His press conferences now are cringeworthy, honestly. The other side must tune in for a comedy show to watch that.
Oh, yeah.
It's some of the stuff he says. I mean, that's clickbait stuff for them, but even his Sky Sports interview, and I know it's right after the game, the heat of it and that, talking about one of the best performances, the team gave everything and all this. I'm like, I don't need to hear any of that. And then again today, he's getting tested on what he thinks he's going to do in terms of turning it around, and he's just coming out with nonsense, referring to Malmo and Stoya Bucharest. That's Europe. Stoya Bucharest, as you say, rested 8 players, were an extremely poor team. Yes, Rangers were good on the night. I'll give them credit. They were good on the night, but playing as a poor team who are wide open, which suits Rangers, especially Europe, no pressure. We're not interested in hearing about Europe at the moment. It's a sideshow. It's all about domestically at the moment, and domestically we're failing dreadfully. But you look at Clement's record since. We talk about when he came in, and it is, as you say, Jamie, like the new manager bounce. When it got to the crunch time, the proper crunch time of us winning that league, and we should have won the league, they fell away dramatically. Since February, he has won 2. This is domestically I'm talking about. Since February, he's won 2 away games as Rangers manager.
Madness.
Unacceptable. This season, and as we're sitting here filming this, the 1st of November, we have scored 2 goals away from home. That's it.
2 and 5. Two goals in 5 games, which
2
is
goals.
a crazy
And
stat.
we've won what, 1 game, I think, away at Dundee or something, whatever it was. Was it 1-0 or something? Again, unacceptable. 9 points behind Aberdeen. Unacceptable. Any other manager would be bulleted. It's where we're at the moment. You look behind the scenes, you'll get into Jamie in terms of we've got nobody running the club behind the scenes. And the financials come out, and he's got the new contract which get negotiated. I'd like to think there's some clause in there that if it goes tits up, we can get rid of him. But going by this board, no chance.
No, because put it this way, mate, Clement wouldn't sign that. Why would he sign an extension of something that was in that? He wouldn't sign it.
Well, and he talks about in his presser today, Jamie, about, and he's as my favourite catchphrase in here is strap yourself in. He's basically saying that to the Rangers fans that he's here for the long run. That he's here, so strap ourselves in. I agree with you. I agree with the majority of Rangers fans. You look on Twitter and social media and stuff. He's lost the complete support. We're going into Sunday, Jamie, a semi-final against Motherwell. I know it's the League Cup. We can't sell it out. We can't even. And then obviously it goes through the tiers of your CCs, your MyJers, whatever level you're on, and it's going to guys that have probably never been to Ibrox. They can get a ticket. They still can't sell it out. It's where we're at, and this is a sad thing that the fans will. You know what the fans will do? They'll just stop going. It's a turn off at the moment. And Clement, I think he's deluded. I'll be honest. I think he believes his own hype and he believes his philosophy, but I just think he's doomed to fail, and he's failed already for me. He shouldn't be sitting. He shouldn't be sitting at that presser today, Jamie. He should have been removed. And I know folk can say Rangers don't have the money to sack him, but these guys that are so-called Rangers men that are in charge of Rangers should be finding the money to get rid of him. Because he's not the guy to take Rangers forward.
Exactly. I mean, we're gonna go on to the boardroom shambles later on. We're gonna touch on it. But Scotty, Michael Beale was sacked 7 points behind, and it was done very, very, very quickly. So as Ali said, seeing him rock up to the press conference today, it's not really much of a surprise. And I've spoke to a lot of fellow fans this last week, and I don't think anyone's convinced he's going to get the bullet. And it's really just down to extremely bad mismanagement on the board's part. How do you see it going, mate? Are they going to stick for a while till it's extremely out of sight, or what's going to happen?
I don't know, because I would have already if I was in charge, I would have sacked him. Ali makes a great point. These guys that are on the board, and I heard a comment from David Edgar about the Rangers board currently, and it's a point that I completely agree with. I'm sure most people have heard it, but if you are on that board, and look, we will always be thankful for the money that you have invested. Of course we will. That goes without saying. We'll never really take that kind of stuff for granted. However, if you are not fit enough to run a football club, which clearly right now they are not fit enough, then you have to take a look at yourself and think, I'm not doing the best here that I could be doing. And it's not okay just to be plunging the money in. We have to have someone on the board that knows what they're doing, because right now we don't have anybody on the board that's wanting really to take responsibility. John Gilligan's kind of been put up as a front, as a kind of face to the board just now, and all due to his credit, he's far too staunch a guy to say no to an opportunity like that, to try and lead Rangers through this, and for that I give him credit. But he's going to take some amount of criticism, because he will be the guy that needs to come out and say the spiel that's going to come from the board, or I would like to think it's going to come from the board. I don't know what the board are going to do right now. I don't think Clement's going anywhere. I think the fans will. It's going to take a little bit more, unfortunately, for the board to actually pull the trigger. My biggest concern is the plan B, if you like, the contingency plan. What would they do if they do sack Clement? That's the bit that concerns me, because, as I said, there's nobody really on the the board that has the experience of appointing a manager or leading us in a direction that we need to be going in. Right now, we're in the state that we're in just now is due to years of mismanagement and wrong decisions. The board have squandered millions, they really have, and we've seen very, very little return for it. I don't think Clermont is going anywhere. I think it's going to get a lot worse before it gets any better, because I don't see the team turning it around. As soon as there's a wee bit of pressure on this team, for example, say we are 1-0 down at half-time, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if you're 1-0 down at half-time on Sunday, can you imagine the reaction that there's going to be? Do you know what I mean? There is going to be a hell of a response. So right now, I think he's going to be here for the long run. Doesn't mean that I think that he should be, and I'm not going to accept that. And people say, "I'll get behind the team and whatever." That's fine, but I'm not going to accept that he's the future of Rangers, even if the board choose not to sack him, because I don't think he is. If he completely tears it up and all of a sudden we go on and miracles happen, I mean, absolute miracles, and we go on and win the league or something ridiculous like that, which won't happen. I'm not pretending that it will. Then I will happily sit with egg all over my face and say, he was completely wrong about Clermont. But the fact is, I know what we're seeing. So I think his time's up. I think the board will act. I don't think they're in a rush to, no.
Yeah, exactly. Well, look, we'll come back to Clermont on the whole and the things that we think are going wrong. Now we're going to hear from a company that has a lot more buzz than this current Rangers team, Manscaped. Scotty, if you can do the honour, please.
Yep. This episode is brought to you by Manscaped, the global leader in men's lifestyle and grooming. Introducing Manscaped's newest innovation, the Chairman Pro, the game-changing tool that brings the luxury of a professional shave right into your home. Whether you're after that daily, silky smooth finish or prefer to maintain a rugged 5 o'clock shadow, their Chairman Pro electric foil shaver is your go-to for precision and style every time. Head over to manscaped.com and join over 11 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped by using the code CLUBAT22 for 20% off and free shipping. You have the skin safe 4-blade foil for that close, smooth shave when you're looking to go completely clean. And if a clean shave isn't your style, just switch to the skin safe stubble trimmer to keep your stubble looking sharp and polished. The Chairman Pro comes with unique Flex Adjust technology, helping you maintain great contact with your skin at every angle. And here's something that's going to make your grooming routine even easier. The Chairman Pro is waterproof. The Chairman Pro is so powerful it can tackle up to a 5-day growth, making it perfect whether you're shaving every day or just tidying up after a few days. Get the Chairman Pro today and experience a shave that is as smooth as you deserve. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code CLUBAT22 at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the code CLUBAT22 at manscaped.com.
Brilliant. Thank you for the words from our sponsors there. So yeah, boys, back to Clermont and a few pain points of recent times. The one thing that we were all raving about when they came in was the tempo and play. Was it getting the ball forward and playing in pockets as quickly as we could, and we praised it for months, and it seems to be working. But there's a serious lack of cohesion between these players. There's just an overall lack in playing style. I spoke to my dad the other night on the phone, and the thing that he said was it's just 11 jerseys all sort of running about, not even having a clue what they're doing whatsoever. It seems to be that there might be messages getting passed on, but if they're going in, who knows? Ali, what's your overall thoughts about the playing style and the way in which Clermont seems to want us to play, mate? Because there really doesn't seem to be any.
I was about to say there, Jamie, what is the playing style?
Somebody
tell me. Is the playing style get the ball and kind of humph up the park? This is what a guy called Dessers that can't hold a ball.
Can you say thanks to Jim first for me?
And thanks to Jim. Sorry, Jim.
Oh, cheers, Jim. Thank you very much. Brilliant.
Kind donation.
And also quickly, sorry, Ali, Steve O'Gels as well bought the podcast 3 coffees. Thanks very much, mate. Very much appreciated.
Thanks very much. The style of play, we've been saying all season we're looking for something. I don't see anything. We kind of knock the ball about. There's no tempo to it. We're looking for teams to make a mistake. We're really looking for one of our creative players, and I kind of laugh when I say creative players. I don't think we've got many, to be honest, to do something. to get us out of holes. Barami was the guy that got us back to 1 each on Wednesday night because he can play Barami, but I don't know what style of play is, Jamie. And then you look at the team, it chops and changes each week. I know we've had a few injuries and that, but I really don't know what it is. I really don't. You would think by now, Clement's been in here over a year. He's had from the beginning of the season to bring in these players. He's had the international break there as well. And as Carney says, we're going backwards, but we're going backwards at an alarming rate. It's getting worse. And that's the worrying thing. See if I could sit here and Rangers were 9 points behind Aberdeen, but I could see a style of play. I could see something we're trying to do. You can get behind it. But there's nothing. There's not one positive you can sit here and say, I can see that, because there's nothing. And as I say, we are going backwards at an alarming rate. And that is the reason for me that he shouldn't be the Rangers manager. We've got a chance to remove him and bring in somebody, if it is temporary to the end of the season, but we've got a chance. Because what happens, the Rangers board look like they're going to back the guy, back him in January, back him next summer. Where are we going to be at that point? Because the Rangers fans have lost their confidence in Clement. And I'll sit here, as Carney says, I completely hope he proves me wrong, and I'm sitting here the same as Carney with egg in my face. I hope he does, but your eyes don't lie, Jamie. Seen it since the beginning of the season. It's there is no style of play for me.
Yeah, exactly. Scott, one of the issues at the moment going to the game is you could almost take it in a way if you were going and we were drawing the odd game. If we were playing some decent football, you're being entertained. At the end of the day, we pay our money. We put out a lot of money for season tickets, for merchandise. When we go to the game, we spend an absolute fortune. If we were being entertained, it is an entertainment business. It would afford them a wee bit more time, wouldn't it? But the fact of the matter is, mate, we're not being entertained at all.
That's it, mate. We are turgid to watch. It's very boring. Like that St Mirren game. Oh, it was like pulling teeth. Honestly, it was so bad. It really was. It was terrible. And that's the thing. I honestly like to think that the majority of Rangers fans would be going, right, okay, we're getting caught out because we're trying to do this, and we're getting caught out because we're trying to do that. But we're playing some really good football. You can see a bit of progression happening, and maybe that's what we thought. Maybe we thought, with the Malmo game especially, you were like, whoa, because that's the one that turned my head, where I went, whoa, hang on, where did that come from? Rangers were actually really good tonight, and we played some brilliant patterns of play, but we don't do that when we get domestic football. So I'm going to be honest, the football is just murder. It really is. It's absolutely poaching to watch. We're now going with two defensive midfielders. Okay, one of them's getting asked to play other kind of hybrid 6-8 thing that they kind of talk about now in modern day football, but we've still got two defensive midfielders in Scotland. We were screaming at even Gerrard when they decided to do things like that. We don't need that in Scottish football. We definitely don't. But he's trying to defend his job pretty much by picking only players that he believes that are in form. And it's not working for him. It really isn't working for him. Honestly, a pound, a tenner to anybody that could explain to me what Philip Clement's style of play is, because I just don't know. I think it is try not be a bomb scare at the back, which we are. Try and win your midfield battle, which we don't really. We do on occasion, but we are very easily caught open, and they will break through. Most teams will break through our midfield, and then we're left with, let's hope that the front players do something. And I'm not going into bashing individual players. I don't think we will tonight. But when you've got the only option really being Dessers to be the one that gets you out of trouble and to create something and do something, that in itself is a problem, because he won't. The majority of the time he won't. So no, right now, mate, that's why the fans have all went, not anymore, because Rangers, even on Wednesday night, Clement can try and he can try and say that was one of the best performances he's seen this season. He is kidding absolutely no one, as far as I'm concerned. Rangers were very poor, and we have been for a while now. We're not going anywhere.
I mean, we've all got eyes. We've watched it as we've watched the last 10 games. Do you know what I mean? And we're regressing in terms of the way in which we play. One of the other things is next to the serious lack of any playing style whatsoever is the worrying lack of improvement in players, boys. And was going to come on to the board and the current situation and the things that are going wrong there, but I'm gonna hop on one, and I'm going to talk about players that we think have the potential to still be a hit at Ibrox in the next few years, because I think there's some potential in that squad, and I think, as we just talked about there, I think it's glaringly obvious now that there's not enough being passed on to them on the training pitch or on match day as well. So, boys, I'll let you pick 2 players at the moment. Look, let's try and find some form of positivity with this live pod tonight. 2 players that you think, moving forward in the next couple of years, bearing in mind if Clement's going to go, are going to be hits at Ibrox, and they're gonna find worth in that starting 11 and in that squad. Ali, I'll come at you first, mate.
Christ, a scratching about here, Jane, if you've been honest about it. 2 guys that, well, if you base it in, theoretically, if you brought a new Rangers manager, and could he get them going? Is there players there that he could improve? There is players there that you can improve. I mean, there's probably obvious ones that we'll look at, and probably Carney's thinking of the same guys as me here. But I mean, Connor Barron is one who I think's got potential. He's young. Yeah. He's got everything you asked for in a midfielder. He just needs guys round about him as well. I think he's got potential moving forward as a Rangers player. You look about it, I think young Jeffrey, again, he's raw. But again, he's got attributes to work with: athletic, quick, high energy, kind of the type of player you're looking for. That's the 2 I'm looking at. And it's 2 signings that we've brought in the summer. I mean, we're talking about how bad the transfer window was, and these are 2 guys that were brought in. But they're the 2 guys that I would point to. And you look across at the park at other players that, nah, I can't see it. I just can't see it with a lot of them. They're squad players for me. And I think I've got it's not slaughtered, but I use John Suter as an example. Before I went on holidays, a guy that I think he's a good player for Rangers. I think he's a very good squad player. I don't think he's a first team player for Rangers. And a lot of people didn't agree with me, but I stand by it. I still think he's a squad player. There's a lot of players in that bracket, I would say, squad player, who are first team players. But going forward, Jeffrey and Barron are the 2 I would say have got potential.
Yeah, Jeffrey and Barron. Scott's nodding along enthusiastically with you. I mean, Scotty's golden boy last season was Jack Butland. Jack Butland could really do no wrong. Scotty, is he in your 2 this season? I'd guess not.
No, I think Butland's suffering from the rest of the team, and I'm probably being generous, but I think Butland's suffering from the rest of the team's lack of confidence, and it seems to be feeding on to his. He seems to have lost that bit of command that he had of his area, and I think he's thinking to himself, maybe I'm going to need to save everything that comes my way, so that wouldn't bother them. Jeffrey and Barron, I think they're the 2 that probably I would think stick out most to me. I think they've got real promise. To be slightly different, I think if Casemiro gets a run at right back, which I believe he should, I think he's got potential. I really do think he does. And Barami has got quality. I don't think there's any doubt that he has got a bit of quality in him. That goal on Wednesday night, as poor as we were, that was a really, really smart goal, really tidy finish. We done very well for that. So to be slightly different, I'll go with Casemiro and Barami, but it all depends who gets brought in, mate, doesn't it? It all depends if they're going to fancy them or not. It's going to be interesting to see. As I say, see who gets brought in. Club's going to be here for the rest of the season, probably. So
I know exactly.
Davey 1642, thank you very much, mate, for 19 months. Mental for being a member for 19 months. That's super.
Misery.
Good stuff, David.
All negative voices for the last 19 months, man. God.
19 months of pure negativity. Brilliant, David. You'll be loving that, mate. You'll be loving that. No, I mean, look, boys, I'm glad to be brought up Barami there, and let's just quickly touch on him. I think on Wednesday he almost pulled us out a hole. It almost pulled us out a hole. We did have a period of 10 minutes after the goal where we were threatening. The guy has quality. He's one of these players, like probably with Butland's, probably looking at the rest of them thinking, what the hell am I doing here? The the real pain point is he's been played out of position. It's glaringly obvious to all of us as fans that his best position is number 10. Ali Barami he does look a bit of a steal. I know we shipped out 4 million. We also shipped out £4.5 million on Dezers, so it looks like much more of a steal than D9, who is no longer in my good books anymore. So yeah, overall,
Z9,
mate,
I think we can call them Z9 now coming up.
Yeah. We'll just call him a Big Daddy because he is a Big Daddy.
Yes.
But Ali Barami, he looks levels above technically as a footballer than the rest of the players on that pitch, doesn't he? And he did on Wednesday.
Yeah, I think he's a good football player, Barami. The downside, as you say, is he's playing the left-hand side because Cortez, made of Carney's favourite phrase, paper mache. He's made of that. And Matondo, who's made of similar, to be honest. So we've got two left wingers that aren't there, which means he has to play there.
And you have to remember, he is still Rabbi Matondo. Like, he's still not good enough to play for Rangers. Like, no matter how much people are convinced they are.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting when one of these players, Matondo or Cortez, comes back to see if Barami does play in the 10. I know he fancies Lawrence there, but I'd like to see Barami in the 10. We did see him there at Ibrox it's a month ago, but he played Diamandi up beside him and it didn't really work, to be honest. They were getting in each other's way.
Yeah.
No, I'd like to see him there. I think, I agree. I think he's a clever player, Barami. Again, he's one of these players that at the moment we're just waiting for somebody like him to do something to pull us out of a hole. He's probably too clever for the players he's playing with, Jamie. That's not the issue. He's playing with guys that aren't the same level as him, and that's the issue. He's probably getting frustrated, to be honest. But I think he's a good player, Barami. You can see he's a good player. But I'd just like to see him in the 10 and given a run in the 10 with two quick wingers, obviously, in the wings, which we've not got at the moment. So, it'll be interesting to see Curry Muncher saying about Danilo as well. No, don't talk to me about Danilo.
I mean,
don't like it down even more.
Look, Curry's making a good point. All these players that we just brought up, like they're the forgotten men, and it's come on, actually stated he had the cheek to state would be a fitter team. And our injury list is longer than your arm again. It's absolutely ridiculous. Scotty, Ali makes a good point there about Barami not having technically minded players around him. I mean, I think you look at the number 9 position and you look at the space that he finds for Dezers and the balls that he puts into the box. And really, if we've got a fit and firing performing number 9, it's a different story, isn't it, mate?
Yeah, maybe not fully a different story, because I just seen somebody mention the empty jersey that is Tom Lawrence. Again, he's another one that's just, he shouldn't be there. He's not good enough. He really isn't. That Barami was brought in to replace him, and due to the injuries that we've had, we now have to be playing him on the left wing. Well, I think so anyway. Who knows? Maybe Clement signed him to be a goalkeeper. We've no idea. But I agree. I think if he'd better people round about him, and that's another thing as well. You were starting to see a partnership form between Jeff Day and Barami, and he drops him for Wednesday night, and you're like, I just don't. I can't get my head round that. I'm like, that doesn't make any form of sense to me. It really doesn't. But Barami is lacking the support round about him, mate, for him to make a real impact on a consistent basis, I think. Dessers for me, I'm so far done with Dessers now. It's incomprehensible, really. I can't stand watching the guy playing football. I really can't. He's useless. He really is absolutely useless. To the point where he doesn't do the basics of the football that he's meant to be doing. And I kind of wonder how he's managed to make it to this point in his career, his professional career. I really don't. The age that he is, I think he's just about to turn 30. If not, he's just turned 30. Dessers. This is all you're going to get from him. This is the guy that he is. He's not good enough. He really isn't good enough.
Yes. So you're just talking about Dessers there. What do we do going forward? Because Igaman, we've seen start games, doesn't look up to. He looks more of a bit of an
miles away
at the moment. Danilo, as we're having a bit of a joke about, put a thing in his Instagram about him scoring in a B team game and
he's disappeared.
Not been on the bench or anything.
Shambles.
What the problem is, is Dessers is going to be the guy who's going to play because the other guys aren't good enough.
I agree. Davey, sorry, I've just seen that, mate. Thank you very much for the donation, mate. Very much appreciated. That's class, mate. And the Catalyst as well, who just became a member. Thank you very much for joining the channel. No, I don't know what we do. That's the thing, mate. I know I'm going to have to watch Dessers, and I'm going to have to watch him on Sunday as well. It's like, and you're just watching it going, what chance have you got? You just, every time Dessers plays football, you hope that he has a good Dessers day and not a bad Dessers day. But the majority of the time, he's hopeless.
How often does he have a good Dessers day? Let's be clear. Like, honestly, like, I have no idea how he managed to get to that magical 22 goals last season. And I know it was a bit of a joke amongst us because I said it at a live show in January, not thinking he would even get to 15 goals because I said it when I was half cut, to be fair as well. And he actually managed to get over 20 goals. And I'm just thinking, I'm looking at the guy that's playing for us this season. Again, we're talking about regression in these players. He genuinely looks worse than he looked last season, and he was absolutely shocking last season. In terms of Igaman, we can all see has potential. He's got potential. He took his goal really well against Stilla. The cameo he had at Tannadice when he came on, he looked really good. He looks technically better. I think he could be doing with improving his hold-up play, throwing his body about a bit more. But I think there's a player in there, but he's not ready to start up front for Rangers. So, Scotty, I think you're right, mate. I think we're going to be sticking with Dessers for the foreseeable future. But anyway, moving on from the players and moving on to the current situation in the boardroom. No CEO. We got a stand-in chairman. We got a board who just completely hide and continue to just take the fans for granted. We got a manager that's sitting 9 points behind. Boys, honestly, like, and I'll come back to you first, Scotty. What needs to change first here? What needs to change first? Because there's so much of it that needs to change, and let's not beat around the bush. The stuff that's going on in the boardroom trickles down. It does trickle down, but what is the thing we need to get done first? Because everything seems to be getting put in the back burner, which again is there's just red flags and warning signs all over the shop, isn't there?
The first thing the board have to do, the club have to do, is get the fans back on side, mate. I don't know how they're going to do that, but that is the first thing that they have to do. In my opinion, going forward, what should happen, Clement should be removed. I think we should get a temporary manager in and make it quite clear to them that they're a temporary manager, sort out the disaster that's happening at the boardroom level, get the right people in place that you need to get in place before the end of the season, preferably before March of next year, and then recruit the next Rangers manager and make it quite clear to the guy that's getting the job that, by the way, it's probably not going to be you. I think the Rangers fans will begrudgingly accept that we'll write this season off, because ultimately, lads, we're on the 1st of November, we're 9 points behind Aberdeen. We are closer to 8th in the league than we are to second right now. So you have to kind of look at things rationally and go, we're not winning anything under this manager and this season the way things are going. So I, for one, get somebody in that makes us difficult to beat, is willing to give youth a chance, to give the younger boys a chance to try and prove themselves in order to build for something for next season, pretty much write the season off, and then I say sort the catastrophe that's going on at boardroom level, which it is, by the way, and I'm not a massive fan of talking about off the field stuff, but it's all very relevant just now. But it's an absolute bin fire, the boardroom right now. It really is a mess, and they have to sort it, and they have to sort it very, very quickly. But in my opinion, that's what they should do. I think persevering with Clement as they try and sort out their who's going to sit in what seat and who's going to take what job, I don't think it buys them any favours. I really don't. I don't think keeping Clement in the position that he's in just now, while they do all the background work, is going to help, because we're just going to disappear off a cliff. And not only that, I believe if we continue on the current whatever that word is, on the way that we're on, that's the one. I think you'll see the fans dip. You'll see the fans will do the talking with their feet and they'll not go. However, if the change is made and we bring in a familiar face, somebody that we, not a steady pair of hands. I don't want Rangers to go out and splash money, massive amounts of money on a guy that's coming in to the end of the season, but someone that kind of knows what they're doing and someone that will be able to organise the team, let them know what this is all about, make it difficult to beat. The fans will still go because they'll know that there's we'll have a direction at that point. We'll have a plan on the field of what we are doing. So I believe that the fans would still more often than not go to the game, because that's that kind of what we do. It is what it's all about. We'll want to support the team, no matter how much this board are squandering the money that we will put into the club, which they do squander and they have squandered. I still think we wouldn't vote with our feet. We would continue to still go to the games. And I've just noticed that Jim's donated again. Thank you very much, Jim. Mate, that's very much appreciated, honestly.
Double donation. Brilliant, Jim.
Absolutely superb. So, yeah, that's where I think we should go. That's where I think the club should be aiming.
Brilliant. Ali, Scott's making a good point there. I mean, in terms of this board making these decisions, and I agree wholeheartedly with what you said there, Scotty. I think a temporary gaffer in charge to see us to the end of the season would be the best way to go. Ali, would you trust this current board to actually select that interim manager or select a new manager going forward? Because I'm not really sure I would.
They'd probably go and get Graham Murray or something. What's he? Is he kicking about?
I could do a Murray headstand, by the way, just to lift the spirit a bit. A Murray headstand would be lovely.
I think he's in one of the zip shops, mate, down the road.
No, jokes aside, was I trusted it? No, I wouldn't trust him. No. I agree with everything Carney said, though, in terms of going forward. We need to. He needs to be relieved of his duties. Come on, and see, even if we win on Sunday against Motherwell, I'm not changing my mind in a game like that. I've seen enough, and we've got time. I think that I agree with Carney. I think the Rangers support, if they come out and went, look, we're going to relieve Clement of his duties. We're going to bring a guy temporarily in. Let's just fling a name out in out the sky, a Steve Davis type person to come in with, I don't know, Kevin Thompson, something like that. I'm just throwing names out. To come in, they're going to steady us to the end of the season. We'll take our time. We'll bring the new guy in the summer, and we'll go again. I think the Rangers support would sit back and go, right, you've done the right decision there, and we'll get behind whoever comes in, and we'll see where it takes us this season. Because there's still a League Cup to play for. There's still a Scottish Cup to play for. We're still in Europe. The league for me is dead now. So there is still stuff to play for. So that's what I would do. But to answer your question, Jamie, no, I don't trust this Rangers board. I don't trust them at all. For me, I think they're going to back Clement, and I think we're going to be stuck with Clement going forward.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a case of watch this space. But look, boys, we do have a game to go to on Sunday. We've been talking about fans voting with their feet. Personally, I'll still blindly keep going. I had a wee wobble the other week when I didn't go to the Stour game. I was in a bit of a bad mood. I gave my ticket away, but look, I'm going again. And see the fans that don't go, I'm not holding any ill feeling whatsoever to them, because we're a passionate fan base. We know what we want to see. We're not seeing it at the moment, so it's the same as I don't slag the Subway loyal that leave on 85 minutes. Everyone is entitled to do their own thing. They pay a lot of money to watch this Rangers team. So yeah, so we're playing on Sunday. So let's go, Ali. I'm going to come at you first, mate. Give me your team and give me your scorer as well for Sunday against Motherwell.
Are we scoring on Sunday? Are we scoring a goal on Sunday? Are we?
You can pick a Motherwell score if you want.
The only thing I would say on it is, obviously we've played at Hampden this season, as we know. Our record at Hampden was decent. I know it wasn't great to watch at times, but it was decent apart from obviously that Champions League game. But we have played Motherwell at Hampden this season. We beat them. Was it 2-0?
2-1.
2-1. It was, yeah. Same with you, Jamie. I mean, you look at the ticket sales. It's not sold out in terms of the Rangers. That is a shambles. It's always semi-finals, regardless of who you're playing. Is always a sellout. For Rangers, so it just shows exactly what the Rangers support feel about it. I think you'll feel it on Sunday. I think there'll be. I'd like to think the Union Bears will have something to say over in their section.
Yeah.
If it does go the way we don't want it to go, it's going to be a very toxic place to be on Sunday, and that is the reason why I will be going to the Viceroy beforehand for a couple of pints. Hopefully, Mr. Carney will be joining me for that. But the team, I'm going to give you the team what I think Clement's going to play, Jamie. This is what I think he'll play. Butland in goal. Tav at right back. I think the centre halves will be Suter, Balogun. I think Jeffy will come back in. I think his midfield will be Barron, Raskin. I think Diamandi will come back in, play the 10. I think Barami will play in the left. I think Dessels will play up front. And on the right-hand side, I think he'll bring McCausland out. He's not been great when he started. I think he might play somebody like Sterling on the right side of the midfield. I wouldn't do that. I'm just going to throw it out there. This is not the team I would play. But I think that's what he will play. And I'm going to go... I mean, Motherwell are going well. Are going well, Motherwell. I mean, Andy Haldy's been in... Clyde won their open goal, whatever it was, basically slaughtering the Rangers team about how bad they are. And fair play to them. But I'll end in a positive because it's been extremely negative tonight. I'll go 2-1 Rangers and Barami to score the first goal. And I don't know if Tierney's fit or not. I forgot. I just seen some in the comments. Tierney will play if he's available, but I don't know. We didn't hear.
He didn't. I don't think he said much about like injuries or that at the presser today. The questions were going in other directions. Scotty, what are you thinking? Team and scorer for Sunday?
I think he'll bring Proper back in to the back line. I honestly think he will, mate. I think he'll bring it in. The rest of the back five, I agree with. I think the midfield three will be Barron, Raskin, and Diomande as well. I think he'll take Lawrence out. And then, Barami, Dessers and Tierney if he's fit. If not Tierney, he has to play McCausland. Sterling's not a right winger. So, but as soon as Ali said that, I went and something in my head went, that's exactly what he's going to do. That is exactly what he's going to do. What do I think the score's going to be, mate? I've got no idea. I genuinely have not got a clue. I'll go 2-1 Rangers as well. Do I believe that that's going to be the case? Honestly, I wouldn't be putting money on it. I wouldn't be putting money on Rangers winning 2-1 on Sunday. So I'll go 2-1, and why the hell not? I'll go for Proper to score a header.
Oh, yeah, like, I really know that.
CGM has just said Proper, really. I'm not saying that's what I would pick, but I think he will bring him back in. I honestly do. Because if he doesn't, then he'll not play him he can't really play him for the rest of the season. So I think to try and make a point, this is a player he's signed as well, remember? So I don't think he'll completely lose his kind of whole faith in him. So I think Proper will start at the back. Well, I think that's what Clement will do anyway.
Well, let's wait and see. I'm not quite sure he's going to score, but let's wait and see. So if you're bothered knowing my team, it's going to be Butland, going to be Tav. I think he's going to keep Balogun and Suter in there, and then left back. I think he might troll us and play Casemiro again. Honestly, I think he might troll us a wee bit. And it's getting to that point that I think he's going, watch this. Watch this. Watch how funny this will be. And I think he'll play Raskin and Barron, who, on the whole, boys, to be fair, we didn't actually cover them off much. I don't think we got massively overran in the midfield. I think they were a wee bit untidy in patches on Wednesday, but I do think on the whole, because I know we had the conversation before about them being a wee bit too alike, but I thought they were swapping roles all night. Okay, in that patch we had 15 minutes we played well, so I think they still play. I think Diamandi will play in the 10. I think it'll be Barami on the left, Des up front, and then Tierney on the right. And I'm gonna copy Scotty's scoreline. It's gonna be 2-1, and I think Tierney's gonna score again because he's in a bit of a rich vein of form at the moment. But you know what? Bipolar Rangers, who the hell knows how it's gonna go? But we're gonna turn up and see how it's going to go. And Ali, I will be joining you for a pint in the Viceroy. Sorry, multiple pints in the Viceroy before I actually have to go and watch this shit show on Sunday. Boys, it's been therapeutic. I think that's the best way to put it. It's a therapy session when we come on here. Ali, glad you're back for your holiday. Good to see you. Looking very tanned. Thanks.
Yeah, and thanks very much to Craig for the kind donation as well. There. Much appreciated. It's good to be back, Jamie. I'll be honest, watching the Rangers at 7 in the morning and Dominican Republic. And the thing is, I've got my missus to talk about it, and she does not give a monkeys about it.
She does not.
Does not give a monkeys.
That's a form of torture, watching your team lose whilst you're on holiday on a plastic pitch. Like that's a form of real torture. Feel bad for you, mate.
Yeah. So no, I'm glad to be back, and we can have a chat about it. And yeah, Jamie, I will be at the Viceroy before the game on Sunday. I will need a couple of alcoholic beverages before I go to watch Rangers, and also a therapy session in terms of discussing Rangers off camera between us all too. So looking forward to it, and yes, I will see you on Sunday.
Brilliant, Scotty boy. Thank you, mate.
Yeah. Pleasure, mate. It's always good. Look, no matter what, it's always good to come on here on a Friday night, generally. It's probably the favourite pod that we do. I love a Friday night, and you can get the input from everybody kind of there and then, and you can see everybody's probably pretty much in the same line as you. You all know, and we'll say it all before, and I'm not defending us here. I'm just stating what we are. I'm never going to pretend everything's all right when it's not. So it's my opinion. I'm always going to give my opinion. I'll always give my honest opinion. I don't have much hope going forward. I really don't. I don't see any form of light right now at the end of the tunnel. And we're just going in Sunday, because that's just what we do. It's what Rangers, it's what it's in me, and it's been in me for the past 20 years of my life, so it's not going to change now. Probably longer than 20 years now, actually. That's how old I am. So it's just in me now. It's just in me, and it's just what I do. So yeah, no, thank you everybody in the chat. Thank you everybody for the donations. Thank you for the coffees. Thank you for new members. Thank you for people subscribing to the channel, liking the video, all that stuff. It's been a really big pod tonight, so the numbers have been brilliant. So I thank everybody for getting involved. We really do appreciate it. And no matter what happens, we will be with you every single step of the way. Do not worry about that. And Ali, I'll see you on Sunday when you pick me up, mate. Cheers. Thanks for that.
I can't actually. The missus got the car.
Away you
go. Oh, no.
I need to get a taxi to the pub.
No designated driver on Sunday. That is absolutely shocking. No, boys, enjoyed that tonight. As I say, it's a form of therapy for us. Thank you to all the usual guys in the chat. Yeah, enjoyed it, and yeah, I'll be there on Sunday. Yeah, to watch some. It might be painful, but you know what? Forever and ever, we always follow on. We have been Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. This has been Club Live. Thank you very much for tuning in tonight.